Hey everybody, I'm here with Frederick Michael George the Fourth, but he goes by the name Dory, and he is a raccoon
And a girl.
and a girl.
You're in trouble.
He showed up a little while ago while we were doing a live and was talking and giving us some stories and some impressions and stuff. But I asked him if I could give him a quick interview so we could actually get to know him a little bit better. I already said it, but you can state your name.
This is literally the story of my life.
The company store.
Just saying, like I've been working my whole life and I've been trying to figure it out. And honestly,
So
no matter how badass or buff you be, it's kind of funny. But
where were you born
badass,
at,
Tacoma, Washington.
Tacoma, Washington?
And I lived there for about 6 months, maybe a little longer, and I've moved ever since. I'm an Army brat. I was raised military, and I was told that I was going to be military to go kill people. So I've learned every last little ugly thing you could be to kill people, or learn how to be a better male aggressive asshole.
Okay.
And I am still trans as fuck. Happy to say that I'm probably a girl, and everybody can just suck it. I hate to be weird.
Is that like your motto that you live by?
No. I should.
I'm
with it.
Seriously, what do you value in people?
Value. I value more than anything else. I hate to be weird about this, but individualism.
Right.
I hate to be such a bougie bitch.
No, that's
right. But honestly, if you're a worker bee or a sheep or something like that, and these are now commonplace coined terms that are against the rules, but in all actuality, they still have a rather good meaning. I'm not trying to sit there and pay attention to anything the public norm has to say about where I'm at. Period. I'm going to choose how I wish to be, and when I wish to be. Period.
So you say you travel. How many places have you lived in the world?
I have moved 67 times before I was the age of 25. And I have moved a good 30 times since.
Was that all military moves with your family?
Most of them were military, but the thing is, my father was in the military twice. Once when I was a child, and then once when I was 12.
How did you make and maintain friends when you live that kind of lifestyle?
What are you talking about? Are you crazy? This is how I meet friends. How did I meet you this evening? Oh, you have one chance to say hi.
I'm sorry.
For about 5 to 10 minutes. Don't even be sorry, because I know no different.
Yeah.
I know no different. So therefore,
that's a good way to look at it.
I have no other choice but to. I'm literally I'm so ADD as fuck that I have no choice. The idea is the acceptance of reality and where you're at. Yes, I take medication now for my ADD. It's great, but my whole life I was told that I didn't have it. And I was a lazy man's disease, and there's no such thing. And now I'm an attention-seeking person that wants more drugs from the doctor.
Do you?
Because when you guys, apparently, or normal people, not even you, I think you have quite a bit of ADD yourself. I don't mean to call you out, but just saying. And then, you might too. It's hereditary. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. But still,
no, I do.
ADD is a good thing, as long as you know what is there. But, if you're doubting yourself...
Oh, you can harness ADD so well if you know what you got.
No, it's so bad. I'm literally the poster child for, ADD, and then we told them that they didn't have anything wrong with them and they should just do it without medication. I'm it's bad, guys.
So, let me ask you this. Of all the places that you lived, if you could go back and that would be your home and your people and your surroundings.
Easy question.
It is
Rockaway.
Rockaway.
Yeah.
Just down the road.
Here.
Or here.
This is here.
So
here.
Just from that answer, I take it that you're a person that always lives in the now. You don't worry about what the future holds, and they're just because of what you.
But I can't. See, the thing is, where all these people that is literally the goal of most philosophers. We're I want to live in the now.
Yeah.
I want to be here. I want to be present. Well, all I have is the choice of present, because I'm so ADD that my short-term... so bad.
I get it.
Right. So in other words, if I, for even a moment, pretend to be a sad person that is overwhelmed by society, then I can stay that way for a month.
Sometimes it's good to crawl into that hole.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong with checking it out to make sure you're not there.
That's right.
But I'm saying, like, if you don't notice that this is what the problem is, you feel as if it's your own failing and you live in it. And that is the one thing that I'm trying to tell people, all who are not medicated or otherwise. Like, if you figure it out, there's a reason why, and it's okay, and it's not your fault, and you just need to work on it. You work with it. It's okay. Lots of people have to work with it. Like, some people are kleptomaniacs, and they can't do anything else. They're rich as fuck, and they're kleptomaniacs.
And you work with what you got because you ain't got the other stuff, so you got to figure out how to use it the best that you can.
And the messed up part is that nobody wants to even think about the fact of, like, wait a minute, you forget people. If I'm not careful, I will forget my children.
So
I hate to be, and I care about them more than any other human in the entire planet. I have 3 beautiful children. I got together with this person about like 15 years ago, and they left me about 9 ago. And they were just done with my shit. They're like, oh, you're not going to change? I'm like, no. I'm cute, beautiful, lovely. I'm one of those people, like, the thing is, like, I hate the common day. Like, nowadays, like, even like, if we were talking to live people more than anything else, like, oh, God. The fact that people can, like, children can be taken away from one parent or the other, depending on either gender and stuff like that. Like, for example, like, I have switched gender. I'm trans as fuck. And I've realized, I'm more the girl, like, I'm gonna make sure, like, my kids' clothes are clean. I'm gonna fucking send them off to school early. I'll walk them to the bus and shit like that.
Do you feel that your relationship with your 3 children is still really strong and good?
No, I wish it was. But my exes completely went ahead and, like, poisoned them against me to the point of the fact where, like, shit doesn't, like, dude, like, they're like, I have scars, physical scars from when you beat me. I'm like, what? I'm like, I have literally put hands on you like 4 times your entire life. 4 times. Like, I can call them out. It was one time when you hit your younger brother in the head with a fucking truck. It was a, little plastic metal truck. And they were like, BAM! I'm like, okay, well, you should understand what getting hit feels like. I'm like, it's not like I'm trying to, like, show you in any kind of vicious fashion. I'm just like, oh, you think it's okay to be slapped in the face? Well, here you go. Whack! And they're like, that hurt! I'm like, yeah. Good, don't do it to your fucking 3-year-old younger sister. And of course, my boy was great. Like, he understood, and I never had to worry about it again. Like, literally, it is only, like, very few times I even had to, like, the idea of corporal punishment. I was raised with extreme corporal punishment. Like, I believe when I was 4 years old, there is actual testimony of where I was getting 40 to 60 bare butt spankings with some kind of object because I was lying. And what I was taught from a young early age is, don't get caught. It's the wrong thing to teach people, like, but that literally is the message that is delivered when you try to go ahead and, like, control people that are, like, of younger age. They're like, oh, well, the idea is to not get caught.
So now that you've got a little age on you and stuff,
right? What
is your ideal day?
Ooh, my ideal day.
What
here's
when
the
you from beginning to
because here's the thing. Already, if you expound upon that and, like, push it further, what is your ideal day? Your ideal day should be in the morning when you first wake, which should be in the morning. Because regardless of whether you like mornings or not, half the day is gone if you sleep till noon. So you get up in the morning, and you should get something to eat because food is necessary for life and calories and function. So it doesn't matter, like a donut and coffee, and you will feel better throughout your day. And then at lunch, you should eat something, regardless of whether you wish to or not. And then dinner is not exactly as important as everybody fucking says. Because otherwise you're just getting fat. Well, you're dead. You're like, oh, I just ate fucking bunch of fried food and went to bed. But yeah, no, my perfect day is actualizing who you are, making steps forward in your own life to further your progress. Regardless of how far you've gotten, it doesn't matter whether you've made 1 step or 10 steps, there's still 1,000 more to go. It's a very small amount, no matter how much you do in one day.
Have you forgiven your parents?
Yes. Now the question is, have I forgiven myself?
Dory, everything hinges on you forgiving yourself, buddy.
No shit.
Come on.
And we're thinking about this. We're thinking about this. We're thinking about this.
Dory, I think you believe in that.
The thing is that when you judge yourself as a young person, you're like, oh no, look, I did this and did that. But are you judging yourself as an adult or as a child? And I have no way of understanding how I was as a child, merely because I feel as if I was the same. It's difficult to understand. But I have learned that my actions affect people. So when I come to hang out like with you guys, I'm like, oh look, I have beautiful, fun things to say. It's neat and fun and entertaining. I'm still not trying to go ahead and like break you guys' intelligence. Like if you're on the cusp of curiosity about Christian faith, it would not be a good person to talk to. Like I have broken people before, and they just seem desperate and lost. And I'm like, because I'm merely offering them all the questions that I already know.
Well, I think you're still thinking too. I think I think you believe that there probably is a higher power. But listen,
I do a little bit.
I think that your parents were military, and they were also Christians.
I was raised Roman Catholic. I was literally an altar boy, for Christ's sake. And no, nothing ever dirty happened. And part of me is upset.
I know about it.
Because it didn't happen. Because it didn't happen. Because I totally would have loved to have a pastor try to shove his old dirty dick in my mouth. It would have given me a goddamn good excuse to hate this faith that apparently now I am against. Like,
but I think you're seeking,
like,
something though, aren't you?
I'm like, the
you
idea of what would
Jesus
do? Well, no, what would Jesus do? The idea of what would Jesus do? I love that.
Yeah,
because Jesus is really a dope dude.
Oh yeah,
but
if you
nobody
read about
wants
him in the Bible,
to fucking nobody wants to talk about like who Jesus was.
And this is what Jesus did.
I'm like, yeah, no.
He didn't worry about all the righteous people. He wanted to come and talk to people like you, Dory, and people like me.
People like you. Exactly.
People like my daughter.
Yeah, that's what I want.
He wanted to
more than anything else. More than anything else, because the thing is, like, that's where the reality is.
No.
It doesn't matter. Like the fact that Jesus went and washed a hooker's feet. Not many Christians will ever want to talk about. Because they're like, wait, no, that doesn't make sense. I'm like, no, it's okay. Like, stop judging anybody. That's literally the main sentiment of your faith is to not judge.
Yep.
Just run your great little cool Christian ass life and not judge me. Like literally, when I went to the South, they were like, "Oh, you're so sweet. Oh, I love how you're doing that for the kids. It's great. You're going to hell, but it's okay. You're a great person. You're going to hell, but it's okay."
Can I see that? Can I show you this from?
No, I love it. Please do. I would love it.
You are stereotyping all Christians by a few people that are hypocritical and bigoted. I'm a Christian.
I would love that. I would love that if that was true.
Have I done
but
that
honestly,
to you?
No. Honestly, from what I have found out, and I have I was raised Christian, so I understand the people that are really there for the actual faith. And when you went to church, I'm asking you this right now.
If you would walk out of churches.
Damn right. If you had 12, you're answering my question before we get there. But if you had 12 people of your church who were the best of your church. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
The best. You might have like 4 that are okay. But I'm telling you, like, the idea is that the thing is, like, they're literally judging. That's the whole point.
And the problem is that we're still sinners. We're still in sin and stuff, just like non-Christian people.
And then the thing is, like, what is sin? Like, if you actually look it up in the Bible, depending on the fucking Hebrew definition and the shit, depending on this and depending on, oh, Jesus, Mary, and Joseph, pray for us. Like, literally, I was raised Roman Catholic. Like, I am the Roman Catholic going like, oh, we're failing.
Well, buddy, I think there's going to be a lot of people shocked when it's all over. And
well,
we figure out how wrong we even got it and stuff.
But
we're going to
how is where we're going next? What is the realization? Right now, our country put 452 laws, and there are things that they're trying to make against trans and gay people alike. Like, didn't we fight for this in the 80s? That gay people could get married? And while we fought for that, we literally were making ISIS.
Yeah.
This is the new thing. They are literally focusing the entire point of America on 20 different topics that have nothing to do with what we are actually doing in the world.
I was just talking about this to Lawson, and
it's truth. I mean, I really wish we weren't, but yeah.
Earlier,
like
they dumb us down. They
keep us sick.
And they
keep us sick.
Yeah.
And
they
we're
won't
humans.
Pay for our health. No, they won't pay for our health care.
And they set us against each other.
And then they decrease the value of our dollar.
Yeah.
From when my dad was a kid, it was $16 an hour. He's making $1.75 an hour. But his boss was making $16.50, and that was the best money you could make. It was entrepreneur on the top.
Mm-hmm.
Well, what about now? It's not just 10 years later. My dad was born in 1970, 60, 70, 79? No, 69. So therefore, that means that for 50 fucking years, I can't get better than my dad's boss. When I was 19, the best job you can get was $16.50. That's the same that my dad's boss was making 30 years before me. They have literally fucked our money out of existence. And then as far as I'm concerned,
they just
like,
keep making
they're
more,
like,
making more.
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
And why do you think Kennedy got shot? Because of the silver dollar. Because he was trying to fucking like switch from the gold standard, which was owned by banking, to somebody else who was trying to switch it to silver standard, so that we had our money based off of some kind of value. And they shot him, and we stayed on gold standard, which means that we don't own our own money.
We're not on gold standard, though. We're on oil standard.
Yep.
We're on the petrodollar, bub.
Right? No.
That's
And the thing is, like, yay for fracking, we have more than anybody else could imagine.
Jeez.
We are literally erasing mountains. We are erasing mountain ranges that you could have looked at, like, oh, there's Indian blah blah blah, there's da. Those are gone. They're holes in the ground. It's almost like a strip mine.
We passed a couple.
We have removed them.
Yeah.
You can look out across the landscape, and they're not there anymore.
We passed a couple of them.
Yeah. What are we going to do? Build them up when we're done? And we're going to build them with trash? Epic.
Probably.
Epic.
Don't worry, we'll shoot all that into the sun.
Yeah, no. Okay. No, like, the thing is, like, here's the fun part. Like, the sun is a continuing nuclear fusion reaction, which, by the way, if we were to send shit into it, it would only increase its length and time. So literally, when you saw the 1986 movie Superman, and they were like, "Oh, we can just send it all to the sun." Yes, we could, but we didn't bother to lift it off and take it anywhere. It's still here. There's no such thing as throwing it away. We haven't yet. We now have particulate matter that is in the micrograms, that floats that we suck in all the time. We're asking what's cancer. At the same time, we are literally creating it on a daily basis
What
for
happened?
us to suck
What
in.
happened? What happened?
Dude,
From
in the 80s, it
300
was
years
worse.
ago, 300-400 years ago, we lived with nature.
Yeah. No,
We
in the
carved
80s
out
it was
little
worse.
spots and stuff, and the
There's a
Industrial
guy called
Revolution,
Watts.
man, killed us.
No, there's a guy called Watts, and his name is J.R. Watts.
Okay.
J.R. Watts. And you can look it up. As soon as you go ahead and put it in Google, you'll see 1,000 comics. And because J.R. Watts was one of the only politicians at that time who was running on an environmental basis during the 80s, and he was like, no, we need to stop.
Absolutely.
And the thing is, like, at that time, we were literally eating thousands of acres of forest and turning it into a desert.
Mercury,
on the daily.
Mercury and all the fish now?
Oh, that's not even the funniest part. Like, mercury was a 20 or 30-year-old problem. It's not mercury now. It's high levels of lead.
Really?
Dude, the guy that caused the most problems on the entire world was the one who created leaded gas. They stopped leaded gas production 5 years after they made it. The last leaded gas that was used was 1986. For another 35 years, they continued to spread leaded gas through the atmosphere. Like,
you know, they still have an additive that makes
literally-
it turns gas into leaded, just so people can drive their old vehicles without converting them over.
They don't knock. They don't like.
Yep.
Then no, if you put some lead in there, it smells nice and smooth. But we are literally like, we've been poisoning ourselves forever. Like the man who went and created leaded gas, is literally denoted as the man who's caused almost 3 billion deaths and almost 142 IQ points off of the entire populace. And that was from 70 to 94.
So I think that you're way too connected to the spiritual nature stuff to be an atheist. So can we know what your beliefs are?
My beliefs are, as I was raised Roman Catholic, and then I realized that the Bible itself is literally like instructions for dummies. Like, if you read any of the whole, like, oh, I'm reading Plato, but then you read the Plato for Dummies version, the yellow and black book, okay? Religion is a yellow and black book on how to fucking live. It says in there, don't covet your neighbor's goods. Well, no shit. This is literally how we can, like, live with each other. Like,
common sense.
You have a nice car. I want it. I'm going to take it. That is coveting your neighbor's goods.
Yep.
Like, I don't want your nice car. I want a nice car like your car. That's an entirely different thing.
Yeah.
So, as far as religion is concerned, like, the God of Abraham, the God of Israel, all these people, they talk about this. They didn't. That person never existed. It is literally, like, you can look up the Catholic faith. It was made. When was the Catholic faith made?
When Constantine was,
it was something like 1300 BC or something shit like that.
He decided that he was going to,
and then he conglomerated a whole bunch of religions. I'm Irish. I'm Irish as fuck.
I honestly, I believe that it was not a dream. It was not. That is a fable that we've been told. I believe it was a concerted move by Constantine.
If you're a Mormon, you believe he looked into a felt hat and was told the religion of God.
No, listen, this is what happened.
I don't have a problem with that, but I'm saying, like, it is as believable as the Catholicism original, like, how did we get Catholicism?
So,
there was this one dude in fucking a place where we have no census, no ideas of what actually existed there, and then we push it forward to where, like, there was this guy who actually was like, we should love each other and not kill each other. We should just be friends.
No, that's not what Constantine was.
No, that's Jewish. Jewish moving into
okay.
Christianity is what I'm talking about. Like AB to ADC, like the idea of before BC to AD, like after death, before death. It's all based upon, gives me a chance to drink a beer and smoke cigarettes.
All right,
so let me see here.
So this is what happened.
Okay.
The Roman Empire, at the time of Constantine, it was starting to fall apart.
It was.
When the Roman Empire was at its height, it was only Roman citizens. But towards the end, in the downfall of Rome, they were letting people that weren't Romans actually have land in Roman lands that were conquered. When before it was only Romans could own Roman lands. They allowed them seats on the Senate. Outsiders that they had conquered, they started letting them partake in the Roman stuff because they were starting to spread so thin.
They're rich as fuck.
And
you understand? Like you take over a country, and you burn the land, but the poor people aren't the people with the money. So therefore, my buddy Bob that we took over, Bob's going to be now on the council. And we're going to listen to Bob.
So what happened was, all these invading conquerors started coming around. Okay.
Yeah.
All the people that lived in Rome knew all the invading conquerors. They were friends and relatives, interbred in all the different tribes.
They did.
So what Constantine did was he took all of those pagan religions and then he peppered them throughout Christianity. He like Sunday, the Sabbath was a Saturday.
Yeah.
He, that made Sunday for the sun gods. Christmas tree was a pagan druidic ritual, worshiping nature and Easter. Easter was Ishtar, which was a Babylonian goddess.
At the time, it was a gesture.
But that's what I'm saying.
Acceptance.
That was the only way that he could keep the empire running.
But at the time, it was a gesture of acceptance.
I don't understand what any of that means. I'm just trying to tell you that he was trying to keep the empire running. I understand
what he was doing, but I'm letting you know, like...
No, there was no acceptance. He was trying to keep the Roman Empire alive.
Exactly. But it was a gesture of acceptance. Because before, the Roman Empire had so much control that they just forced whatever the fuck they wanted. And when all of a sudden it wasn't working, they switched and tried to be like, let's unify and just make everything one thing.
So
and they tried it. And it also failed because the politicians, in the long run, fucked it all up.
No, but Rome never failed. Rome's still here today.
Bullshit.
It's here in the United States.
Blues. No,
it's here in Britain.
The red, no, you're right. But look, the red and the blues, I love to be this like weird dichotomy, but the red and the blues burned the library of Alexandria.
Okay.
They did. And they were mad because the people in charge weren't giving them enough money.
Okay.
And that's literally why they fell. Period.
So,
like, you can look it up, and they had like a bunch of Coliseum things, and then the red and blues were there, and then nobody was living, and there was not enough money, and the red and blues ended up fighting, and then we just tried to deny the people access to health care and a bunch of other shit. And they fucking burned the Library of Alexandria. They burned all their collected knowledge of that time.
It was all moved to the Vatican. The Vatican has all of it because it's still the Holy Roman Empire.
That's what you think.
Yeah.
I disagree.
The Holy Roman Empire owns more land in every country in the world. They have Jesuit schools everywhere. Why? Because it's still the Roman Empire.
No, we are still the thing is, like, because the fucking idea of the Roman Empire and shit like that was carried on by like the English propagation. No, it's somebody else. We're under the rule of an emperor.
No, look at that is behind the scenes that we don't know who they are.
When you came in with your boats, with guns and everything, and you're English, into a new country, you literally offered them everything else, and then told them how to live, and I'm saying, like, the idea of mankind is literally the idea of control. We are all controlling to control our own destiny and force the beliefs of our individual judgment, being how we're raised, on everybody that exists. And apparently, according to like the Catholic faith, and according to the Muslim faith, according to a bunch of other faiths, you're fucking wrong and you're gonna go to hell.
So, do you have any closing thoughts about how people should do? And is it
The closing thoughts is merely to judge and to treat how you've been taught.
so just be yourself?
Now that's the trick. Is to be yourself is beyond that. What I'm asking the normal humankind is to do just what they've been taught. Because most of humankind has been taught to be nice. Be understanding. Be accepting. Like, honestly, like, I don't give a shit who you are, what you do, how you fuck. Are you abusing children? No? Okay, great. We're fine. That's all that anybody gives a shit about. Are you abusing children?
Exactly.
That's why they're using it so much as a tactic. Like, oh my god, drag queens are abusing children. I'm like, last time I checked, drag queens were telling stories like from like childhood. Like they're literally just telling like fairy tales, and they're looking pretty, and everybody's like, oh no, like the little kids are like, why are you looking like this? Like, there's the most innocent questions, the most non-worrisome questions. Okay, no, this is the way I like it. And then as soon as you're like, oh no, this is just how I like to be.
Charlie horse.
Oh
Sorry.
no, I understand. But this is how I like to be.
A little
But,
too
like,
steep.
exactly, but this is how I like to be. And that's what the thing is. Like, that's it.
Okay, well,
It was a pleasure.
Dory, it was great to meet you, man.
Have a nice night.
It was really fun.
Spot to crash, man. Come on through that.
All right, man. We're gonna head on down the
Right up the
coast. As soon as probably in about 4 more hours, I'll be up. My boy will be up, and we're heading down.
We'll come through my spot.
I will, man. It was great meeting you.
Yeah, it's nice. Off of 3rd and Falcon. Come through anytime.
3rd and Falcon. All
3rd
right.
and Falcon. Come through. Off on the end.
Say goodbye to everybody.
Thing on the park. Oh, goodbye, everybody. Have a beautiful day.
Bye, Dory.